Welcome to the next session for Aligned 2017. I'm Jeremy Boudinot, Director of Marketing at Ambition, and this is an interview with another operator for a high-growth company that is absolutely killing it when it comes to aligning their sales, marketing, and operations units to drive growth. The VP of Strategy and Administration at Fitzmark, one of the fastest-growing companies in Indianapolis. His name is Trent Roberts. I'm very excited to be featuring him and having him tell his story about leading a company that's doing very exciting things and how he's aligning their business development, their brokers, and their operations units. So Trent, welcome to Align. Excited to have you come tell your story, man.
Thanks, Jeremy. It's great seeing you again, and I'm looking forward to giving you guys some information on how we've done things and how we're looking forward and how we're continuing to drive our success.
Absolutely. And so let's start by telling people about your background. You've actually had a role like this in prior companies, so a very well-known area for you is alignment and high-level strategy and execution.
My job is to look at the strategy and look at how we execute everything that we want to do as a company. So I work with all the different departments across the company to put everything we do together to move forward. And now that I've been here it's been a short time, but my main focus has been working with the sales organizations on how do we realign ourselves, how do we move forward, how do we grow, how do we execute our plans and do the things that we need to do to grow. So it's been an exciting time that I've been here. We've already seen some of the changes being made, and it's been great because I've done this before. And this is a different challenge for me than before. Last time I did it was the first time that I went through the process of building some of these strategies up and executing them with the previous company that I came from. The success we saw there was great enough to where an opportunity rose at Fitzmark, and the owner, Scott Fitzgerald, had one of his people reach out to me, and then they came after me. And it's been a great move for me, and I'm looking forward to sharing this information with you guys.
Yeah, and so you have a prior background, VP of Sales and Business Analytics for another very high-growth logistics company. You're with Fitzmark. They brought you on the heels of 258% three-year revenue growth. The 17th fastest growing company in Indiana. You guys are really, really clicking, and you came in, even with all that growth though, there's a lot for you to fix. So start by telling people what your initiatives were and what were the 3 to 5 things that you really felt you need to align to help start driving growth for your front office.
I think the first things for our front office is how do we use our data and understand it? When I came here, they don't look at that. They don't have a good understanding of their data. It's across the board. They've been trying to figure it out now for the last 10 years. What's that next step? So the director of IT and myself have been partnering together to move forward with that and to start building some programs within that to start looking how can we increase our profit and grow our sales that people aren't even realizing that's what we're doing. And a lot of that has to do with the fact, obviously understanding what we do in our industry as being a freight brokerage is there's 3 different departments. And our salespeople are bringing in the accounts, and then our operations people who book the loads, they're not always looking at that best opportunity to make us more profit. So we are using that data now to find our top lanes where we move a lot of freight. How do we increase our margin by 2 to 3 to 4 points?
Question for you, and this is for people who may aren't familiar with third-party logistics or what Fitzmark does. Can you explain the different teams that are part of Fitzmark and what a third-party logistics broker does and who they're working with and what are the growth opportunities there?
Okay. The main thing is we have 3 different teams. Those teams are our business development team, our account management team who manages our accounts and our growth for our current business. And then we have our operations team, which is the team that books all of our loads, working with the different carriers across the country. And basically, in a nutshell, that's what a brokerage is, right? We're helping trucks get back home. We're trying to help our customers out, finding them lower rates, and help out the mid to small to large companies find those trucks to help them out with lowering their cost. And that's pretty much what we do. Looks like it's a simple game, but over the years, it's become even more difficult with all the regulations and all the different things that we do.
You're helping companies get their products, their whatever they need to different cities throughout the country.
Yes.
As fast as possible, right? And you're teaming up with truckers to help move that freight. So if you've got a product that needs to go to Florida and you're in Connecticut, you're getting it down there at an expedited rate, and then you're doing it in a way that's very affordable for your business.
Yes. We're trying to find that truck that wants to get back home. He's already gone one direction. That's what we talked before as a head haul. Now he's trying to get back home, which is what we call the back haul. And that's our focus, is trying to find those trucks who are trying to get back home, and then understanding the different markets across the seasons.
Sure. So transportation, if you think about alignment from the transportation industry, you guys are aligning that, right? Helping teams get their
correct
logistics aligned. So going back to discussing the three teams. So you've got the business development, you've got brokers, account managers, and you have operations. So can you tell people how big are those teams for you guys, what their day-to-day looks like, and how they're responsible for revenue?
Here in Indianapolis, and just so everybody's aware, we do have different locations spelled out, but we'll talk just about our Indianapolis team today and how that's aligned, and we'll go from there. Our Indianapolis team here is we have 10 business development reps here in Indianapolis, and their job is to go out and find the business. Their job is to contact anybody and everybody possible to go out and find us accounts so we can continue to grow as a company and maintain relationships with the customers at the high level. As we get to know those accounts and build those accounts, we pass those over to our account managers, where our business development team works with the account managers into developing the relationships at a different level, where our account managers are the day-to-day people who are managing relationships with the shippers, the consignees, the everyday person who's putting the load over to us, to assigning us the load. They're having relationships at the mid-level, which is extremely important to us, but that's where we want them to have their relationships in order to focus on.
How many people do you have who are account managers?
Account managers, we have 10 right now here in Indianapolis, and we have different ones across the country, like I said before. On the operations side, we have 25 people located here in Indianapolis that help book the trucks for us.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So
and we have a team.
That's the market.
Yep. We have a couple people who specifically are focused on working with the larger carriers to help build that base up of the lanes, so then we can match more of their equipment up with the lanes that we run on a daily basis.
So that's what's the cool thing about logistics. And then we've got a couple, different companies on here who are in your industry and transportation. Mm-hmm. And stories, because alignment is absolutely critical. It's essential to your business. If the teams are not aligned with biz dev, account management, and ops, the business doesn't work. So tell people, what for you guys, how you're aligning the strategies there, how you're using data to do it, and how you're structuring their day-to-day metrics, their goals, what they're responsible for, to help ensure that you guys are growing and you're pushing towards higher revenue.
Absolutely. One of the main things that we do on a daily basis is we watch the amount of work that our people do on a daily basis. And with that, we use a tool called Ambition. And Ambition has been great to watch our activity scores take place, to see what our people are doing on a daily basis, to make sure they're meeting their goals for each day when they come into work. For instance, our operations people are expected to make 80 to 100 phone calls per day, and we score them on that. They're expected to be on the phone so many hours per day, and we score them on that. We expect them to track their loads, and we score them on that. And part of the reason why we do that is we need to make sure we're fighting for everything that we can. When we weren't scoring our people before, our numbers were starting to drop. Now that we've added the Ambition scoring system in place for our operations people, they've turned it into a contest. They've doing everything we've asked them to do, even more. So
you're talking about increasing visibility around the key metrics and adding context to those metrics. And
correct.
What data systems are you guys pulling from? Because Ambition we work with data systems, your existing data sources, and pull directly from those to sort of tell people, here's what you're doing, right?
Yep. It's pulling from our phone systems. It's pulling from our own internal TMS system that we have built. For our business development, we've connected with Salesforce to pull that data in to show us what they're doing on a regular basis. And just as of today, we're starting to put in additional information even for our management team, to where we can see that they're coaching, that they're getting scores for coaching. So everything that we do is measured based upon the amount of work we do on a daily basis. And then we compete. Competition is a big thing with us. When you talk about the 3 to 5 things to drive revenue growth, internal competition is extremely important to us as a company. And that has been outstanding for us. We've seen our phone times, our number of calls outbound made. You've seen the results. They've gone up 50, 60% just this year compared to last year by putting everything into place. And what that's doing is our margins are up, our sales are up, and everything else is kicking north right now.
It's great. And are you having teams, is it different roles versus each other? Is business development, convenience brokers, and are all these different teams able to see what the others are doing?
Everybody's able to see everything that each one is doing. We find it important. We just implemented across the country 2 months ago, and we have seen immediate results from our other biggest offices, Chicago and our Phoenix office, where they didn't realize. I'll give you a great example is our Phoenix office. They thought they were doing more work than everybody else. Now they came on board and they realized they were probably bottom tier. And 2 weeks into it, they were back at the top. And we do have a gentleman that's on the top of the list every day. So with doing that, we've seen his activity increase, the number of loads that he's booking on a daily basis, and the sales for that team in Phoenix, which is a younger office for us, is actually gone up 30% in 2 months.
Gotcha. And it's fascinating. So you're talking about, competition and growth drivers. So competition is one, and the other is just transparency and visibility into performance across not just different departments, but different offices and locations. So
Correct.
There's no assumptions that we're doing great. Now it's out there, and
yes.
See what you're doing. So that's helped drive accountability for you guys.
Well, I'm a transparent person, and I feel by sharing this information across the board within the company, we're being transparent across the board. We feel that it's important for everybody to know where everybody else is. It's great when you have a sales rep in Chicago that thinks they may be the best rep we have in the company, and then they put themselves up against the people in Indianapolis, and they find out they're ranked 7th.
Right.
And that makes them work harder, because they're being told that they're already the best, and they find out they're barely top 25%.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And then on top of that, you've also talked about now you're measuring managers. How are you coaching? So you're putting goals in front of managers now too, and people are able to see that and see, okay, you're coaching enough, et cetera, right?
And that goes with one of our things, investing in our people. And that comes back, not just are we doing training on the side, but by investing in our people, that means our managers are actually sitting down and coaching. The word manager to me is what it is. It's the word manager. That's who you report to, the boss. To me, it's who's my coach?
Who's going to help me do better, right?
Who's going to help me do better so I can make more money and help the company do better? And by doing what we're doing is we're putting our coaches in place, and our coaches are out there on a daily basis now, and they're required to do so many coaching sessions per day. We had one start about a month and a half ago, and his coaching sessions are about 5 or 6 a day. His people are their margins are going up, they're increasing their productivity, and he's helping them do the little things, from how they have their desk set up to why didn't they ask these questions to the carrier when they're on the phone. And that's what this all comes back to, is we tend to think once we get everybody going, they know how to do the job. And not everybody's perfect. As I tell my team, is I'm the weakest link on our team, and they make me look better than what I actually am. And that's what we want to do as coaches, is make everybody else look better. And that's what these coaches are starting to do.
I love the mantra, and it all fits together, right? You've got performance visibility, you've got, team accountability across all different roles and up the organization across it, and geographically as well. And you've got a competition-based culture and a very competitive, healthy people, but also people-based culture as well. And so I really want to go into from here. That's the mantra of Fitzmark right there. That's what's driving your growth. That's
Correct.
Why they brought you on. So for third-party logistics, there's a lot of them out there, right? There's a lot of people who have, maybe come and have reached your level of success, but they have failed to really scale above it. And you guys are breaking that mold. Why is it so hard for 3PLs to get that next level of success and to align their teams effectively? A lot of 3PLs struggle to reach the level of alignment you guys have.
I think a lot of 3PLs don't understand what it takes to get to the next level. I don't think they understand that what they've done to get there actually can still work if we align it properly. To give you an example, when I came on board here, we had just moved into this new office in downtown Indianapolis, and we had all of our operations people upstairs booking loads, separated from our account managers, and our account managers are separated from our business development people. And that kind of looked like an assembly line to me of everyone's doing their own thing, but no one's communicating. And what got us to where we were at, and what I had learned from some other companies that have been successful, is sometimes you got to take the button, you got to push it and blow everything back up and bring it back to where it was at. So about a month ago, we had been struggling with our margins dropping. The market's been tough for us because we have a lot of contracted freight. And one of the things I noticed is our communication, if I can say the word sucked in this thing, it sucked. Our communication was absolutely terrible. And I noticed that. We had a meeting and we pointed this out, and I go, I'm ready to realign how we sit, how we do things, and how we interact as a company. So we moved everybody around that following Monday with new seating arrangements, new locations, to make sure. It was almost like when, as Scott will tell you, well, when we started the company back, blah, 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 it was just the two of us doing it this way, and we got it to here, and then we did this. Well, at some point, we separated ourselves, and it stopped working. Well, we still need to align ourselves together so we are communicating on a regular basis. In our world, and I call it the brokerage world, and the other logistics companies can agree with me, we have to be screaming and shouting at each other to communicate, to go back and forth on how we do our job. We did that a month ago. Our margin's up 3 points. Everyone wants to say it's the market, but we compared against our other offices. Our other offices who are not realigned are at the same margins as they were a previous month. So doing some of these things, little things sometimes, are the most important things you can do to get the place going back in the right direction. And it's not just the margins going up, but it's the morale, the communication levels, that people are getting along better. You had people upstairs who are just saying, well, they don't work downstairs. Well, downstairs are saying, well, they don't work upstairs. Now they look at each other like, well, you do work. And
yeah.
Really? No, duh. We all knew that. However, sometimes, even in our worlds of sales, we have to see it, believe it. And now we're seeing it, and now we're believing in each other, and now we're able to take it to that next level. And now we're seeing our growth even go faster. We kept our business development people a little bit separate, but they're close enough to everybody to where they're seeing them do the extra things. And we pulled in more new business last month than we've had in the previous 3 or 4 or 5 months. So when things were getting a little stagnant, it was almost like sometimes you got to push that reset button and refresh yourself on how you move forward. And I think that's what some logistics companies miss out on when they're trying to realign themselves, is they're trying to think too big. Sometimes we just got to think small and move forward from there.
Take those small micro steps. I love it. And it goes back to visibility. You physically move people to where they can see each other working. You take the performance metrics that we've always had. Now you're publicizing them. You can see the output. I love what you said about morale too, and about the cultural aspects too, because people want to be appreciated for what they're doing.
Absolutely. And the other thing that comes with that is, as we have some new products come out that we're getting ready to push within our sales and our account managers, we're training the operations people so they understand what they're doing as well. So they know when the business comes across, why it's coming across the way that it is. So when you talk about investing in our people, training everybody and everything is just as important as training them. Oh, you're only going to get trained on this, and you're only going to get trained on this. Well, again, I believe it's important to train everybody and everything that we can. So everyone can do each other's job if we had to.
And you can empathize with the other departments too.
Correct.
You know what the other person's going through. You know what biz dev's going through, and the account managers and that.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Correct. And the best part is we've had people step up and look at some of that data we've had from Ambition come across on just the little metrics that we watch on our scoring levels. And they've been creating some of their own tools that they're giving to us to help us manage our people. So it's not just everyone steps up and we find new talent and what they can do. And that's the best part of some of the tools that we have, is people point out things to us that we may not see.
I love it. Yeah. And that's thank you for the Ambition plug. We've worked with you guys for a few years now. And I think it's a great story, because it also says, Fitzmark's been very successful. They've back-to-back Inc. 5000s. A lot of people would become complacent with that type of growth, but you guys have really, you've put the foot on the gas by bringing you in, and you've already started optimism, right? So
correct. And that's kind of the funny thing is when they wanted to put the administration title on mine to manage some of the people on the administration team from HR to some other departments, I looked at them and said, I hate the word administration, so we wanted to go back with strategy. Is now we're even putting strategy into place with all the different teams that are in place. And now how do we score them on a daily basis is what we're looking at. So everyone in this company is going to have strategy to move forward, not just the sales. And everything that we do here, from recruiting to paying bills to selling. Everything is sales in what we do in this company.
I love it. I love it. And yeah, I think that's an amazing story. I'm excited to watch you guys grow. If you really want to do that, can you give them, Trent, where they can contact you, where they can then contact Fitzmark, follow you guys, all that sort of stuff?
Well, they can always contact me via my email here at Fitzmark at troberts@fitzmark.com. Probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. And I do know, for example, I'm going to plug our for all those people listening from Indiana, our beer distribution here as well. The lady that does marketing for us, she also plugs Craft Roads and some of the different beer brands that we have here in the office. So, I like to plug beer now and then. But that's a whole nother conversation. But they can reach me at troberts@fitzmark.com and or fitzmark.com for the website. That's the best way to get a hold of me.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, and Trent, has been great. Great takeaways for people, and very excited to see what you guys.
Well, I hope you give me more than 50 views, like our bet.
I will do my best to deliver on that for you.
All right.
Yeah, man. Well, this has been great. Everybody, thank you for being a part of this session and for coming and watching. We have many more to come. Trent, thanks for coming on and telling your story and being so transparent on your end about what you guys are doing.
All right, Jeremy, I appreciate your time.
My pleasure. And everybody, thank you so much. We will see you for the next session for Align, the virtual summit dedicated to all things B2B sales and marketing alignment.